How you doing? Well, we've had a nice little weekend rest, and we're ready to get back to work on this tuba. Well, as you can see, the parts are a lot shinier. We've cleaned a lot of them up. Paul took them into the buffing room and polished out the surface metal for me. Did a nice job. Everything has been degreased as well. So now we went over it, and as you can see, there are a lot of little circles and lines and such, and these pretty much are the dents and dings and creases and distortions that we're going to have to address. Most of this we will tend to on the dent machine, just the same as we did the bell flare. We've gone over most of this and got all the solder off. We have yet to tend to the guard molding. As you can see, it still has solder smears, and well, I'll tend to that a little bit later. We will use a special tool to clean up the dents and dings and smooth this out. These are very expensive parts, and they're not something that you can just, easily order from a supplier. They do take a bit of time to acquire and quite a bit of expense. So instead of doing that, we have ways where we can fix this, and it'll look perfect when it's all said and done. We're going to be doing a little bit of work with dent rods and dent balls to push a lot of these dents up. We'll be using barrel-shaped tooling as well, and that'll enable us to reach up inside of these, push these up, and get them looking decent. It'll require a fair amount of hammer work as well, and there will be actually some times where we will use the dent machine to soften and minimize, if not completely remove, the distortions from the dents that are already there. As you can see, some of these are quite sharp, and they do not come out as easy as one might think. We've started on taking care of the dents now in our bottom bow, and I've already done a little bit of work with the dent machine to address some of the larger dents that were in the legs of the branches, these sections here being the legs. And now we're going to start working on the bow, but we do have some of these dents still that we need to soften up. And they're not huge dents, but they are significant, and we want to be able to clean all of this up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use a rod with one of the many types of dent balls that we have. This is a pear ball, and it works pretty good for this kind of stuff. It gives us a good surface area. It's nice and smooth, and it allows us some access to reaching around the curvature. Even with a straight rod, we're not running up against a sharp edge like we would, say, with a ball that is barrel-shaped like these up here. We've got quite a selection of them. We also have others that are even larger than these. But as you can see, this set, it does the job, and we will be employing it for the top branch when we're reaching in there and taking some dents out momentarily. So we're going to go in now, and we're just going to deal with some of these dents that we have not yet touched. So we've got like this one here, which we've already addressed to some degree with the dent machine, but we do need to soften it even more so because there is still a blemish there. So we'll come in and we'll push that up, and I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but you can actually see where the dent ball is pushing up on the underside of the metal here. And so that's fine. So now we're going to go over here, and we're going to push this ball up towards the inside of the dent and soften it up. Well, now we've got a few on the other side here that we're going to address, so we'll just come back up in here with the ball. Because we can use the face of the ball, we can actually come in and we can push some of these more extreme spots up. So I gotta actually see where the ball is. So we're trying to work this area here up. It's a little tricky on some of these, so you have to use the base of the ball. Push those more extreme spots up. Now after we've gone after a few of these, we'll then adjust our tooling to the dent machine, and that way we can reach up and around and we can smooth this out even more so. Back to this same part. We get some areas where we've done dent work, but because it was so badly stretched, we end up with some bulging. And sometimes you want to help that along a little bit. And the best way to do that is with rounding rings. That's what these are. And sometimes you'll see these in a plate with multiple rings. The larger ones maybe 2 or 4 separate sizes in a plate. These are individual. They come from Paris. They are fairly expensive, but they are really helpful in the process of smoothing out metal and reshaping it. And then you're dealing with tubas or euphoniums or even French horn bells for that matter. Set up here that typically is ideally suited for the backside of the large branches, and we have some unevenness here, maybe even a ridge or two from some of the dent work that's been performed so far. Sometimes you want to use one that's plenty large. Too small, and you can run the risk of kind of cocking it in there at an angle and putting a really, really nasty crease in there. This one, because we're working at a certain point in the dent removal process, I wanted to have one here that's a fairly close size and shape to help me with the leg on the smaller side of this bottom bow. So pretty much what you're going to do is, it takes a little bit of upper body strength. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. It does take practice, but you're pretty much hunting for the high spots, ridges and such, and you use it to push those ridges down. My tools here are a little bit on the dirty side, and so they're scuffing it up a little bit more than I normally like. They're a little overdue for polishing. But by running it through, you can find the ridges and push them down, and then you can go back at it with the dent ball. So we'll come around over here, we'll use that same ball, we'll get in here, and we'll push up our low spots. And then we'll go back to our rounding ring.
we don't want to pinch it up too much, so we're going to go to a larger ring. Now when you do some of this, you will discover areas like this where there is actually a dent. And we didn't see that before, so we'll have to make sure that we go in and we'll clean that up. But most likely the dent machine will address that when we get to that stage of the game. See, there's a dent there we have to still address. So things are looking a lot better. We still have some work to do on the dent machine to go now up and around here, and we'll get this area smoothed out, and then this will be ready for some light sanding and polishing.